Sri Ramchandra Mission has launched a movement, a silent revolution, so to say, for the spiritual regeneration throughout the globe. And Sahaj Marg system of sadhana as practiced in Sri Ramchandra Mission aims at developing those values in human beings throughout the world. The name of Sri Ramchandra Mission, it's a spiritual organization established in memory of one Sri Ramchandra Ji Maharaj of Fatehgarh, UP, by his disciple, whose name was also accidentally Sri Ramchandra Ji. He was a resident of Shahjahanpur in UP in the year 1945. It is a system of Raja Yoga. The method of sadhana as practiced in Sri Ramchandra Mission is a system of Raja Yoga remodeled to suit the convenience of the modern man. As you know, the system of Raja Yoga was prevalent long back, 72 generations before King Dasharatha of the Solar dynasty. He pondered deeply over the problems that were facing man in those times and finally arrived at a solution that when the individual mind is conjoined with the universal mind or the cosmic mind, all the problems get solved. And he named it as Raja Yoga, king among the yogas as we call it, because of its naturalness and ease. Now as the time passed, the lifestyle of man underwent a great change. We can see that the present day life of a human being in any part of the globe is full of complexities, full of tensions, full of pressures, internal as well as external. Now Sahaj Marg offers a solution to get out of this problem, to be free from these tensions, pressures and other compelling circumstances. All these things have made our life miserable. And that's why we want to get out of it. Everyone wants happiness. Everyone wants peace. Nobody wants tension. Nobody wants unhappiness. But the means that we are adopting are not in conformity with the thing we desire, we aspire for. We seek happiness in external things, whereas happiness is not a commodity to be purchased in any shop or to be got outside ourselves. The kingdom of happiness lies in ourselves, in our heart, as Jesus pointed out. Now Sahaj Marg system, although it is the same as the ancient Raja Yoga, differs from Raja Yoga in certain aspects. Raja Yoga is also called Ashtanga Yoga because it contains 8 steps: Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Dharana, Dhyana and Samadhi. If we just look into the first few steps of the Ashtanga Yoga, or Raja Yoga of the ancient times. It seems pretty difficult for us, at least for many of us, a majority of the people of this world, to follow those principles, because they are all time consuming and laborious. So Sahaj Marg system of yoga deviates from the old system of Raja Yoga in this aspect, that it begins the sadhana from dhyan, the seventh step in the ancient Raja Yoga. Dhyan is meditation. Meditation, according to Patanjali, who is the author of the Ashtanga Yoga, is defined as absorption, deep absorption into the object that is meditated upon. Whereas Sahaj Marg system of yoga differs from this definition. It says that meditation is nothing but thinking again and again of an object on which we meditate. It is thinking of an object again and again. Very simple definition. You need not concentrate, you need not try to concentrate, because concentration is not meditation. A meditative mind can concentrate, but a concentrated mind cannot meditate. Moreover, concentration is for revealing things, revealing the nature of things, whereas meditation is to regulate the mind. So Sahaj Marg says that you just turn your eyes inward and fix the attention on the heart, the physical heart, with a supposition that there is divine light. This method of meditation has been advised by so many saints, so many yogis. The same thing has been advised in Sahaj Marg system. What happens when we meditate upon the divine light supposed to be present in the heart? Light means knowledge. Darkness means ignorance. We know this comparison. From ancient times this comparison has been made. Ajnanandhakara, we say. So, we meditate on the light to get knowledge. Knowledge of what? Knowledge of the ultimate reality that is there already in our heart. How do you say that the ultimate reality is there in the heart? It is a supposition. There is no light in the heart. We suppose that there is divine light in the heart. Doctors have analyzed the entire body. Anatomy says that there is no light. There is nothing of that sort in the body. When we cut the body, dissect the body, we suppose that there is divine light. The first assumption of Sahaj Marg system is that when there was no creation, the entire thing, whatever it was there, was in a balanced condition. The consciousness, ultimate consciousness or ultimate reality was without ripples, without waves. It was all still. Underneath that center, that ultimate consciousness or ultimate reality, there were latent motions. They were not vibrating, they were latent. And when the time of creation came, a jerk was given. A stir was there, and the latent motions began to vibrate. Currents began to descend, currents of power becoming grosser and grosser, which ultimately led to the creation of this grosser world. And Sahaj Marg supposes that the human being has the heart, a throbbing heart, which is akin to the stir, the original stir that appeared before the creation came into existence. At the time of existence, at the time of creation, so to say. So when we meditate upon the heart, we try to merge ourselves with that condition, the original condition that was before the creation came into existence. This is the philosophy behind the meditation on the heart. And during the process of meditation, what happens? So many thoughts disturb our mind and we are drifted away along the current of those thoughts. What is to be done at that moment? We should not strain ourselves to bring our mind back on that point. Without putting much effort, whenever we are reminded of the thought that we had taken originally before sitting for meditation, we should gradually divert our mind on that point. Without much effort, there is no effort at all, but still there is some effort because we have to do it. We should not allow our mind to wander here and there. But the nature of the mind is such that it cannot stand, it cannot attend to a particular thing for a long time. So this much of effort we have to do. What happens from this meditation? In course of time, the wandering mind becomes habituated to sit in a place, in one place, that is on the divine light. It begins to stay for a longer period on that divine light which is supposed in the heart. Our diffused energy, because all these days we have allowed our mind to wander anywhere it liked. Now it is not so. That is why the dissipated energy is conserved. It is channelized into one particular direction. When energy is saved, we will be able to do our work with more efficiency. More and more efficiency. The efficiency to do the work also increases. Because we have energy. We have surplus energy, which was so far wasted, being wasted by turning our mind, by allowing our mind to divert in so many different directions. A sort of peace, which we cannot describe, begins to dawn. A sort of joy is felt, and balance in each and everything we do begins to appear. This very balance is the mark of yoga, is a very important feature of yoga. Samatvam yoga uchyate. This is how yoga has been defined in the Bhagavad Gita. When balance comes, then every other thing appears insignificant to us. The priorities which we had given to certain things in our life, they get changed. The trifling things had become very, very important all these days. That importance begins to be shifted to something else, something more important. The goal that we have set, namely the light that we are seeing in our heart, which represents the ultimate reality, that becomes more and more important. And our entire existence will become highly balanced. We rise above happiness and sorrow, success and failure, honor and shame. All these things begin to happen automatically from this sadhana, and sadhana becomes enjoyable, life becomes enjoyable. There is the second aspect of our sadhana. It is called cleaning. Cleaning what? Cleaning the mind. The mind is unclean because it has gathered so many impressions by doing wrong things and right things also. Impressions will be there. Impressions are nothing but the reactions of our actions. When we do a certain thing, it creates a reaction. Action and reaction are opposite and equal. It's the law of physics. Every movement, whatever we do, each and every action creates an impression outside ourselves and inside ourselves. If we do good acts, the world will praise us. If we do bad acts, the world will blame us. So that blame and name, fame, praise, all these things, they create impressions over impressions, and they become ultimately the coverings on the soul. Avarana, they are called the avaranas, coverings. To remove these coverings, we clean ourselves. This cleaning is mainly intended to remove the impressions which have now become the coverings on the soul. What do we do during cleaning? We make a supposition that whatever dirt, disease, grossness is there in our system, the entire body, is going away from the backside in the form of smoke or vapor. It is an auto-suggestion. Please don't think that nothing happens by this auto-suggestion. Nothing is going to happen. Suggestions are very effective. They are very powerful. You must have seen the hypnotists. They work through suggestions only. Their suggestions are so potent that they will influence the other's mind. So our own auto-suggestion influences us, and gradually we become clean. Our mind is purified. This purification aspect is very important in any sadhana. Unless we purify, we can't progress further. It is just like, say, sowing some seeds in the field. When the crops grow, the unwanted things also grow, grass, etc., brambles. And unless we weed them out, so cleaning is very important feature of Sahaj Marg system. The third aspect of Sahaj Marg is the prayer. We have known so many prayers, we chant so many prayers, but I don't think any of us has got some benefit out of it. Of course, worldly things, from the point of worldly things, we might have got some benefit. And that too casually, not always. We have been asking of that ultimate reality, namely God, of material things only. Material benefits, worldly benefits. Give me money, give me fame, give me promotion, give me this, that. But we have never asked God that He should give Himself up to us. This is something different, something foreign to us, so to say. So Sahaj Marg says that God is the only real goal of life. Sahaj Marg makes a slight change in this. Prayer is offered to the ultimate. The nature of the ultimate, nobody knows. So Sahaj Marg says that you offer your prayer to a master who is capable of pulling you forward, who is capable of giving you progress in spiritual field. Who can be such a master? A master of a caliber is one who is utterly selfless, who is always thinking of the progress of the people, welfare of the human beings, who has no motive of his own. He does not lead a double life. He does not cheat others. We have to examine, we have to test persons. who call themselves gurus. There is no gurudom in Sahaj Marg, there is only brotherhood. You may be surprised that the founder president of this organization, Sri Ramchandraji Maharaj of Shahjahanpur, whom we used to call Babuji out of respect, used to say that we are all brothers and sisters. He never called himself as a guru. The present president of the mission and master also is like that. He is utterly selfless. He is always inclined towards doing something good to humanity. He always thinks of that only. Nothing else, nothing of his own, nothing for his own self. But till we believe, till we have faith in such a master, we have to test him and then believe and then have faith. We go to the doctors for cure whenever we become sick. First we see his qualifications, see his reputation, how many patients he has cured, whether he charges, his charges are very high or not. Like that, in so many ways we look to a doctor, we test, we examine, and then if we are convinced that this is the best doctor, most suitable to me, we go to him. In the same way, before giving ourselves to a guru, we should examine the guru by all means at our command. The prayer of Sahaj Marg system says, "O Master, thou art the real goal of human life." This is a thing in which all of us cannot believe all at once. The resistance is there in each and every one of us, because to worship a human being is not an ordinary thing. Hero worship, the intellectuals revolt, our own intellect revolts. But when we are convinced that the person whom we call Guru is absolutely pure, highly sensitive, capable of taking the Abhyasi forward or higher by means of pranahuti, power of transmission of yogic power, then we will be inclined to put faith in him, have faith in him. First of all, the faith begins from a trust, simple trust. All right, you have promised to give these things, certain things to me. All right, I trust you. Then when I am convinced that he is giving those things, actually he is delivering the goods, then our belief or trust, it transfers into faith. Gradually, it's a very gradual process. It cannot happen all at once. We cannot put an end to our desires. As we go on fulfilling our desires, they go on increasing in a geometrical proportion. So, we have to cry a halt to our desires, thus far and no further. That is done automatically by means of sadhana in Sahaj Marg system, by means of the help rendered by the master. The third line of the prayer says, "Thou art the only God and power to bring us up to that stage." What is that stage? He alone knows. That is the highest stage. I want to reach the highest point of evolution. So, he is the only God and power to take us up to that point. The prayer is very simple. There are no demands, and anybody can test the efficacy of this prayer by doing it at bedtime, by offering it at bedtime. Before we go to bed, we sit on our bed and recite this prayer once or twice and lie down thinking on the meaning of this prayer, each and every word of the prayer. The fourth aspect of the Sahaj Marg sadhana, the 10 maxims, there are 10 rules laid down for the daily behavior of the Abhyasis. How a man should mold his life so that people are attracted. People are also inclined to ask him, brother, what are you doing? You are not so before, now you are entirely changed. What are you doing? Like this. See, some attraction is there, some glow in his eyes, some light on his face, brilliance on his face is seen when we begin to do this sadhana. But we have to be very cautious. We have to follow strictly, sincerely these 10 maxims. They are not entirely new. All those rules that the ancient sages, the Mahatmas of our tradition, whatever they have said, the same things have been modified a little and put, in a logical and psychological order. They are not random rules. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 to 10. Rules from 1 to 10, they are psychological as well as logical. So these 10 maxims, the first 5 maxims are meant for molding internally, molding ourselves internally, and the latter half of the rules, the other rules, 5 rules are meant for external behavior, how we should behave in society, how we should behave with others, how we should mold externally so that our life becomes meaningful, it becomes beautiful. Another important aspect is, as just I mentioned just now, pranahuti, transmission of yogic energy, yogic power. What is that? A saint of caliber, he draws energy from the ultimate reality, from God, and he can effect change through his power of thought in the Abhyasis also, in others. By a simple thought, that is called transmission. He transmits his energy, yogic energy, into the heart of the Abhyasi. It is possible. Don't disbelieve it all of a sudden. Don't brush it aside. It is possible. If we see the lives of the great saints, they have been doing this, but they have not named it as transmission of yogic energy. Nobody has named it like that. It is Sahajmarg system alone. It is Babuji Maharaj alone who has for the first time given the name of transmission of spiritual energy for the first time in the history of spirituality. He has given certain instances also. From the Ramayana, the first example he quotes from the Ramayana. When Vali was killed by Sri Rama, his wife Tara was overwhelmed with great sorrow. And to console her, Rama transmitted that energy into her heart. She was at once consoled. She never felt that grief, that much of grief. The second instance was that of Arjuna. On the battlefield of Mahabharata, Arjuna, he threw his bows and arrows and he began to say that he would not fight. And Krishna had to advise him, had to teach him the entire Bhagavad Gita, which consists of 700 slokas. And if we recite 700 slokas, it would take 3 hours, not less than 3 hours. Certain scholars opine that the original slokas of the Bhagavad Gita were 7 in number, only 7, which later on was magnified, or it was written by Vyasa, says Vyasa, into 700 slokas. So, in those 7 stanzas, Sri Krishna might have spoken a few words. He must have transmitted his energy, his power, so that Arjuna might have summed up courage to fight. In the end he says I am now quite convinced that I am not the person who is going to fight. Because Sri Krishna has already had already said that you are not the person who is fighting. Don't worry that you are killing those the persons, your relatives, etc., whom you mentioned just now. I have killed them. You are only an instrument in my hands. An egoistic person thinks that he is the doer. No, that's totally wrong. I am the doer. You are an instrument. You don't incur sin. You fight. And with these words, he must have consoled him, and Arjuna was prepared to fight. This is the second instance of transmission of yogic energy, spiritual energy. The third instance Babuji Maharaj gives of Swami Vivekananda and Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. During his last days, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, when he thinks that he was going to leave his body, he calls Vivekananda and makes him sit in front of him. Both went into meditation, and Ramakrishna Paramahamsa transferred his energy, all his spiritual earnings, into Vivekananda. And ultimately we see that what wonders Vivekananda did with that energy, with that spiritual energy. So this pranahuti is not an ordinary thing. It is the divine energy, spiritual energy, pure energy, which is transmitted from a capable master into the heart of an Abhyasi. And when this energy is transmitted into the heart of the Abhyasi's lower tendencies, they get reduced, they get sublimated, and day by day he becomes purer and purer. Now from this we might have concluded that this is a master-centered system. The center of this system is master, whom we can never ignore, because he is the person who does everything for the sake of Abhyasi. Master cannot be anybody and everybody. He must have some experience, mastery over this transmission of spiritual energy, and then he must have traversed the entire distance till the ultimate point and capable of taking anybody up to that point. He is the master. There are some persons in our country who can take the Abhyasis up to a certain point, and beyond that they are not capable of taking the Abhyasi. Some others are there, they can take another few steps and then they fail. In such cases, the progress of the Abhyasi is blocked and he is stranded, so to say. Now a capable master, he will never forsake the Abhyasi at any point. There are so innumerable knots, innumerable stages on the march towards freedom or towards the ultimate, that unless a capable master pushes us with his energy, we cannot go forward, because the entire path is a slippery one. We are likely to slip down. Even if we go further, we are likely to slip down and then come to the original condition, the same previous condition. This is what is known as alabdha bhumikatva and anavasthitatva. Alabdha bhumikatva is that the not getting the condition or stage, higher stage. Even if one gets the higher condition, he will not be able to have a firm footing in that condition. Anavasthitatva. And this is done by the master of capacity, having mastery over the spiritual transmission. So, master is not an ordinary human being. In our Shastras, it is said that master is ultimate reality himself, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. It is said like that. So, in Sahaj Marg system, the role of the master is very, very important. And there are innumerable centers all over the world. People are being trained in this art of life, I can call, because life is an art as well as science. We must know the science of living and the art of living also. We must find out such an organization where a capable master is there to guide the Abhyasi till the final point. And to the best of my knowledge and experience for over 40 years, I have found Sri Ramchandra Mission a very genuine spiritual organization, and the master highly selfless, utterly selfless, and ever ready to serve mankind. First of all, be convinced intellectually whether this sadhana, system of sadhana is going to do me any good or not, whether I will be benefited by this sadhana or not. You get satisfied, get convinced intellectually first, and then try this, because it is highly practical. Our system goes from heart to heart, from individual to individual, because individual is the unit of society. Society is formed by individuals only, of individuals only. Unless the individual is transformed, social transformation cannot come. It is the individual who is to be transformed first and foremost. With this idea, with this conviction, we are trying to spread Sahaj Marg from heart to heart.